Hello, welcome back to Mike Always Has to Fix Something. Today, I gotta fix this car, Crown Vic 2005. I guess we got from my father-in-law, David Vasquez. Shout out to Buy Home Services. I gotta fix this car because my Yukon decided it wanted a new transmission. So, it is what it is. We gotta do this repair. So I actually have a car. Well, so I have a car to use, and so Viviana has a car to use because the Yukon's normally hers. I'm not sure if you're in focus. Ooh, just zoom out a little bit right there. All right. So, unfortunately, this car's AC is kind of on the fritz, and I think I found the leak. I think it's the condenser. But I'm just taking it off. So I know what I need to look for later. But yep, the Yukon lost its transmission after 230,000 miles, which is a lot. We bought it at 180,000 miles, maybe right before Luna was born. Luna is my daughter, my youngest. She is 2, going on 3. So I guess that puts the Yukon about 4 years in our possession. Right, we've had the Yukon for like 4 years?
No, we got it
We got it right before Luna.
3 years.
Oh, yeah, 3 years. Right. But she's gonna be turning 3, so wouldn't that make it almost close to 4 years?
She'll be 3 in 6 months. I don't like the way this is angled.
But you weren't pregnant with her when we got it, right?
I was.
Oh, that's when we found out.
I had not found out, but I had assumptions. I had feelings. And I was right.
Anyways, we'll try to keep this PG rated.
Whatever.
These are the parts of the YouTube channel usually pull out. Nobody wants to see somebody, seeing a grown man fight with and curse at AC parts. It's not on. Show you what we're dealing with. I'm trying to get this out. See that? It's basically like a radiator for the AC. It's what makes your air cold. Ideally. There's Big Bertha in the background. I haven't named the Crown Vic yet. Mainly because it's not titled and I haven't driven it very much. It does have new tires. There's a lot of stuff in it. A lot of dead things. For the meantime, I need to look at jacking this car up. So I'm gonna put you back here. Where is my jack? Jacking up the car, I was gonna put it on a piece of the frame. My wife's laughing at me because I'm narrating. Oh, she's not laughing at me, sorry. She's gonna take that out and post. Maybe. Nope. Put it on the cross member. It's really sturdy. It's not a soft piece of metal. The last thing you wanna do is jack up your car on its oil pan and just crush that. It'll crush like paper. So I'll let the majority of the weight sit on the jack stand. I'll loosen the jack. to test it without the jack support. Do a push test. All right. And then I like to put the jack back under here, just as a safety catch. You don't want to lift it, you just want to snug it up. Okay. I like to take the pipe off the handle off the jacks so I don't hit my shin on it. And then you put chocks on the back of the wheels so the car doesn't roll backwards. The parking brake is set, but they can fail, so you always want to put as many safety measures as possible. These are wheel chocks. I've had these ever since I started driving, actually, because I've been working on cars for too long. But it's better than paying somebody else to do it. So today, I'm actually messing with the exhaust. I had a terrible exhaust leak and it was between the catalytics and the white pipe that meets up with the well, that comes after the catalytics and goes back to the mufflers. So remove those. They were really rusted up, and so it ended up eating up the studs from my exhaust manifold. So here's one of them. As you can see, these are supposed to have a decent size amount of thread on it, about maybe an inch. But they were all eaten up, the threads. Normally you're supposed to be able to back these out. I tried heating it up, soaking it in some penetrating fluid, and then I tried to put a big pipe wrench, but it sheared right off. I even tried welding nuts to it, trying to get that way, but I think it's just too far gone. So I started drilling this one out. It's been a long process. Part of me just wants to buy another one, but my wallet says no. But we'll see. I'll see if I can get these out later and put these back on. These go, this is the driver's side. Passenger side still on. That one I'm not going to take off. The threads were fine on it. So this is the only one I need to fix. Probably sand it down and maybe paint it. So that came from in there. Surprisingly, I didn't break off any of the exhaust studs coming off the head, so that's a relief. This engine, I think it's at 200 and it's closer to 250,000 than it is to 200,000. I don't remember. It's up there. It smokes a little bit, but for the most part, transmission shifts fine from what I've driven it. I haven't driven on the highway, but I've gone onto it up to 50, and it seems to handle it just with no problems. You can see there was leaking brake fluid there at one point. This one had a fuel issue, and he couldn't figure it out for the longest time. At first it was a fuel pump. Replaced the fuel pump. Then, well, we thought maybe it was the throttle position sensor. Tested fine. That is right there on the throttle body. Then I thought it was this is like sort of like an evaporative canister, but I forgot the actual name for it. But ultimately it just regulates how much exhaust vapor goes in, and it measures the vacuum. And so that tells the computer, hey, I need more gas. This is the fuel pressure sensor. I even tried replacing that. It tested fine. And then, so what I ended up doing is I bought an OBD2 connection that I was able to plug into on the inside and actually connected to my laptop, and I was able to get live data from it. And so I saw I was getting correct fuel to the rail. It was getting good fuel pressure to the rail. All cylinders were firing. There was only one code, and that was it was fuel pressure. So that was weird. So when I would give it throttle, it would be fine at idle, but when I give it throttle, it would bog down like it was choking. So with an engine, it's for an engine, it needs, you know, three things. It needs a source of fuel. It needs an ignition, so like spark, and it needs air. So I knew I was getting air. Mass airflow sensor was reading air, and I knew it was getting ignition. Everything was firing. I did a spark test on all these ignition coils, and then it was getting fuel because I had a fuel pressure. I mean, a new fuel pump in the tank. So I started going through everything. I checked fuel here, but what I noticed is when I gave it gas, it suddenly ran out of gas. So I went down the line. So I traced this line all the way back down under the car, and up to this point is the fuel filter. So if you look down here is the fuel filter. You probably won't be able to see it. It's under there somewhere. And so I bought a new one, and I went to replace it. I had replaced it, but what I didn't do was trace the fuel line more forward. And so after doing this tracing again, I found that whoever had replaced the filter before I did, like the previous owner, had twisted the hose. And so it was twisted enough, well, I guess twisted not enough to where it would still turn the car on fine and provide enough fuel to a certain RPM. But at a certain point, if you try to, you know, give it too much throttle, so when you turn the gas pedal, press on the gas, it opens up this little flap in that throttle body. So when I give it more gas and open up more air, it wasn't able to provide enough fuel. But if I were to do it gradually, it was able to keep up. So long story short, I traced the line. It was pinched. There was like a kink in it, and it was enough that it wasn't able to supply the amount of fuel pressure it needed to keep going if you were to try to stomp on the gas. So that fixed that problem. And besides that, it's a decent running car. Interior is real nice. There's no leaks. There seemed to have been a power steering leak at one point, and I thought it was still going, but I got down there and cleaned it all up. And it has new spark plugs and everything. It smokes a little bit, but not anything obnoxious. I think it's just old valve stem steels that I need to replace. But I don't feel like doing that today. I'm just trying to get it running and driving. So I have a car for work, and so Viviana has the Mazda to take the kids around and do whatever. Because this one is no good. I mean, she's a good truck, but it finally took a big hit, and it's gonna be down for a little bit until I can either. Well, the plan is to get that one running, and then I'll pull this transmission off and buy a new one if the price is right, or see what it costs to get it rebuilt. I'm leaning more towards buying a new one. That way I just have peace of mind and a good warranty. And because ultimately, eventually this motor is going to give up. And so I'd rather have a new transmission, and then I can get a new motor or a bigger one. This is a 5.3. I'd rather get like a 6.0 or a 6.2 put in here. And then basically have a brand new truck and no car payment, because the whole point is to not have a car payment. So let me get back to work after all that rambling.